Welcome back to Australia. This is actually a lesson about New Zealand, which is a little island off the coast of Australia. And we are going to look at the Maori Poupou Tikis. The Maori Poupou, a tiki, is a carved wall panel on the Maori meeting house. The Maori are people who live on the island of New Zealand. It represents a spiritual connection between the tribe and its ancestors. Each pupu is carved with the wakiro, that's the carver, their personal family story, and it may also show the history of the tribe, legends, and/or migration stories. All about the Maori Poupou, the Tiki. The Poupou is a direct connection between the tribe and its ancestors. It is full of mana, which is spiritual power, in order to make that connection. The Tahunga Wakiro, that's the carver, is a spiritual and intellectual endeavor. He has to know his family and the tribal history so that he can carve something to honor the ancestors. There are protocols or rules that carvers must follow. For example, they never blow the shavings from the carvings, or the ancestors would curse that piece. They also never allow food near the carvings, or the mana, spiritual power, would be destroyed. Details of the carvings. It's a wood carving made with traditional designs that have meaning. There are three main styles of pupu. The Taranaki has snake-like figures, pointed heads, rigged bodies, and small mouths. North Auckland has simple, clean lines with round heads and the use of the half moon and claw-like fingers. Hauraki is human figures with a rigged body and uses many figures with the largest one in the center. Pictures. Let's look at the Maori Poupou, the Tiki. Here's that same picture we looked at earlier. Here's another one. Notice the special carvings. These each have meaning. Each carving, each design. Here we have that spiral. You'll see that later on. And here we have this design with the little grooves in between. And this half circle sort of spiral is of really important meaning. These are designed to show tattoos. You can also see the shape of the mouth, that pointy head, and the tongue out. Here's another one. 3. And you can see that these are on the outside of the building underneath the awning. So they're protected, but they are also protectors, or that connection between the two. Here again, we see those patterns. We have these interlocking circles. You can see that there are some other figures around the head, and this one has a pointed head in the middle. This is our project. We are going to draw one of these. So you can see that we have that same necklace. If you've seen the movie Moana, you probably recognize this as one of the traditional symbols. And we have those patterns, and we have the shape, the pointed head, almond eyes, these intricate designs, and that tongue. Here's a couple of student samples for you to look at. Get an idea for some ideas and designs and how you want to lay yours out. All right, let's get started with the patterns and the carvings. So next up, you can see that the Maori Wakiro, the carving, has patterns, and spiral S's or bands that can be used as patterns to help tell the story. This is a practice sheet. So here we can see that those interlocking circles that we saw before, they're notches. Here we have interlocking spirals, this S shape, fish scales here, these rounded lines. Sometimes the groups of 3 are represented with the baby and the parents. And here we have, again, those 2 spirals. Here are some more designs that you can include. There's this one that represents warriors, battles, courage, and strength. The herring tail for prosperity or money. Fish scales representing abundance and health. And these lines represent talent and achievement in a sport. So you can include something like a sport. If you noticed on that student example, there was a football. It can also represent a new challenge. And this one is whale's teeth. So what's next? We're going to draw our Maori Poupou, our Tiki. Okay, to get started with our drawing, we're going to need to do some folds so that we have some good guidelines. We're first going to fold it in half, so we're going to line up the two corners and give it a fold down the middle. Open it back up, and now we're going to fold it into thirds. Now this is a little tricky for some of the lower elementary, but the upper elementary should be able to do it. So we're just going to fold it like this into a little ball so that we can kind of see the roll, and then we'll give it a squish. I wish we could be together so that I could help you out with this one. Okay. Now we're going to open it up, and we should see that we have 6 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to flip my paper over so that it lies flat, and then we can get started with our drawing. Today we're just going to use pencil and Sharpie if you want, and an eraser. So we have our paper folded. Now we're going to come up about halfway, maybe a little lower, and we're going to kind of draw like a big heart shape. And then bring it down. And it should be sort of short and flat. We could do the same thing. Now we're looking for symmetry here, so you can always fold your paper in half like this and hold it up to a window, and you'll be able to see that line through. I can't see it through both of my papers here, but that's okay. I'm just gonna guess. We're going to go ahead and do that second one. Nice big loop. And then we're going to put a second line in here. Don't worry if it's not perfect because we still have time to erase and go to the Sharpie. Okay, I'm going to put a nose on it. Round that up. Put some nostrils in. All right, now we're going to put some eyes in. We're going to take these eyes and the head all the way from the mouth up to that corner. I'm going to put the eyes in here up to the top. Nice big round slanty eyes. And this is because I want that lovely angle so that I can get that emotion in here. I'm going to take the chin up to the corner again. We're going to put some eyeballs in. Now notice that I don't do the whole circle. I just do part of it. And I'm going to put some rings on it. Because remember, things come in 3. That one sort of is bigger. I need to fix that. This eye is a little bit taller. So we'll make it a little narrower. And then we can put our eyes in the right. Put those 3 lines in. 2, 3, 2, and 3. All right, now we're going to get that great tongue in here. So we're going to bring that down and over, and make it kind of a round point. Now we're going to take our body from right about here, sort of almost halfway between the tongue and the edge, and then we're going to bring it down to this line with a little bit of a curve. All right, now we need to add our legs. So let's add the feet first because, well, no, let's add the legs. Sorry. I'm going to add that nice big rounded half circle here. Erase my little line here. And then we're going to put the other half of the leg here. And then we can add those feet. So the feet are sort of rounded half circles as well. We'll erase all the lines in the middle. We're going to add those 3 toes. Remember, 3 is the lucky number today. Come on over here, add 1 square. This is just like that castle line that we drew before. 2, 3. Now we need some arms. So we're going to make those arms come right over here, just sort of a little bit up off the body. And we're going to bring them out and down, out and down. And then we're going to put those hands right here with those same 3 fingers. 1, 2, and 3. We'll erase these lines inside. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. A little bit above, bring that arm down, and in, down, and in. You want to try to keep that arm as even as possible. So I may need to widen this out a little bit. We're going to put that hand on. Think back to that video about New Zealand and the dance. You can see the pose here with the big eyes and the tongue out, and even the body posture of our Tiki. I want my hand to be a little bit bigger. Okay. Now from here, you just get to add those patterns. I'm going to go ahead and trace this with Sharpie before I add my patterns. But this week you're going to add your patterns, and then next week we will go in and add color. All right. All right, you're going to keep going, add those patterns. As you can see, I made a mistake when I was outlining. I went over my tongue, so I just decided to go with it. That's okay, it happens. And we erased all of our pencil lines. And I'm not done with my patterns yet, but I'm going to keep working on it, and next week we'll check back in. Make sure that you watch this video for part 2 next week, because these are 2-week lessons. So if you did this week, you're going to do part 2 next week. Don't try to switch up and pick a different project, because you'll have to start all over. All right, my friends, have a great week. See you Friday.